check, hello, hello, check, hello, hello, check, 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 hello, hello, check 1 2 3, hello, 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 check, check, hello, 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 hello. କେତେ ନମ୍ବର ସେ ନେଇଛି ଅଡ଼ିଓଟା ଦେଖିଲି ତମ ଅଡ଼ିଓ ଆଉଟପୁଟ୍ ନେଇଛ ଏଠୁଟା କେଉଁ କେବୁଲଟା ତମର କେଉଁଟା ଏଇଠୁ ନେଇଯାଇଛି ତାହେଲେ ତ ମିକ୍ସ ଆସିଟା କି ବଢ଼େଇଦେବି ଟିକେ ବଢ଼େଇ ରଖ ସେଣ୍ଟର ରଖ ହଁ ମନଟା ଭଲ ନା ହ୍ୟାଲୋ ଚେକ୍ ଚେକ୍ ଦେଖ ଠିକ୍ ଅଛି परफेक्ट
विवेक आप गए नहीं
सर वो
मीटिंग
check 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 1 2 check 1 2 check 1 2 check check 1 2 check check 1 2 check check 1 2 check check 1 2 check.
हेलो चेक चेक हेलो हेलो चेक
Yeah. A very good morning. We should be starting in a short while from now, but I already see some of our guests who are here with us, so a very good morning to all of you. सोनू 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 सुशील आज क्या सुना मतलब एक्चुअली am I visible पछरू I'm not no it's okay as long as the voice comes but given my height I feel that I may not be visible ये फूलों के बीच से दो आंखें दिख सकती हैं दिख रही है पूरी शक्ल आ रही है ना एकदम मतलब बैठने के बाद दिख रही हो ना नहीं तो ऐसे लगेगा कि सिर्फ आवाज ही आ रही है Namaskar, very good morning everyone. Can I request all our esteemed guests to take seats, get settled. We would be starting in a short while from now. नवीन और नवकरणीय ऊर्जा मंत्रालय और सेकी और इरेडा द्वारा आयोजित आज के इस चिंतन शिविर में आप सभी विशिष्ट अतिथिगण का स्वागत और अभिनंदन करती हूँ. I request everyone to now please take their seats. Our guests who are outside the hall, I'll also request them to come and take their seats, get settled. I'll once again request any guests who are outside of this hall, if we may request them to please come and take their seats now. And this is Diksha Tiwari extending a very warm welcome to all our distinguished dignitaries from the center and state, industry leaders, policy makers, researchers, renewable energy enthusiasts present here today for this Chintan Shivir 2024 organized by the Ministry of New and Renewable Energy in association with SECI and IREDA in Odisha. IREDA, which is the largest pure green non-banking financial institution in India, has in fact put untiring and dedicated efforts to make this event happen. And we would also like to thank our knowledge partners for this event, NSEFI and Grant Thornton. I'll request our dignitaries to be settled. We'll be starting in a very short while from now. This is the first time that a Chintan Shivir of this stature planned by the centre has come to Odisha, a state that has immense potential in the renewable energy sector, and we are grateful for all your presence here today. Of course, I'll also request, before we start with the formal inaugural ceremony, I'll request everyone to please keep mobile phones in silent mode. As we all know, the action would happen here on stage, so your phones can be on silent mode. Needless to mention, we are here today because as a country we have set an ambitious target, which is also part of a Panchamrit goal of reaching a non-fossil fuel energy capacity of 500 gigawatts by 2030 under the visionary leadership of our Honorable Prime Minister, Shri Narendra Modi ji. Ladies and gentlemen, as we already know, we have achieved a major milestone of 200 gigawatt of installed renewable energy capacity recently, thereby consolidating our position as the fourth largest renewable energy market in the world. However, we still have a long way to go, and it is imperative that all stakeholders, state and central government, decision maker, financial institution, industrialists and CEOs they all work in tandem to achieve this target, which is why this Chintan Shivir has been organized today. India is already at a transformative juncture in its energy journey. So today, as we all gather to brainstorm, share insights, and collaborate on strategies to make India energy efficient and self-reliant, or as we all proudly say, Atmanirbhar, and address all challenges in the direction, we are definitely hopeful that this Chintan Shivir will not only help with a roadmap towards reaching the goal, but will also pave way for a better, greener, and sustainable future for generations to come. I would once again make a humble request, if there are guests outside of this hall, I'll request them to please come inside and take their seats, be comfortable. We should be starting in a very short while from now. Although you all would be aware, but I'd still like to inform that this two-day Shivir will include deliberations and discussions on various thematic sessions, be it on connectivity, on regulatory policy issues, storage, research development, international best practices. And the thematic sessions will start after the inaugural session today. So brainstorming effective policies and strategies that can make the 500 gigawatt target achievable, exploring cutting edge technology that can expedite our energy transition, and fostering partnership between government bodies, private sectors, and research institutions will be on top of our agenda today. Ladies and gentlemen, we would also like to take this opportunity to once again inform that at the Renewable Energy Invest Global Conference that took place on September 16, 2024, for the first time, state governments and public sector undertakings have also submitted their Shapath Patras, solemn pledges, along with private sector companies, to the Honorable Union Minister of New and Renewable Energy, Shri Prahlad Joshi, on the quantum of renewable energy capacity that they would add by 2030. Even Odisha has set an ambitious target for the same, so there could not have been a better time for organizing this Chintan Shivir. And we are truly honored to have the esteemed presence of Union Minister of New and Renewable Energy, Food and Public Distribution and Consumer Affairs, Shri Prahlad Joshi, as the chief guest today, along with Honorable Minister of State for Power and New and Renewable Energy, Government of India, Shri Shripad Yeso Naik, for the inaugural session of the Chintan Shivir, which would be starting in a short while from now. We would also have the esteemed presence of the Honorable Chief Minister of Odisha, Shri Mohan Charan Majhi, and the Honorable Deputy Chief Minister of Odisha, Shri Kanak Vardhan Singh Deo, for the inaugural session. The inaugural session will be followed by a couple of presentations, after which there will be a tea break, and then we would be starting with the thematic sessions. Track A and Track B would continue in the same hall. Track C would start post-lunch, and that would be on the high-tech boardroom ML floor for all the participants. That's an information that we would like to give. There would be session coordinators to help you around, and there's a display, LED display outside as well, where all session timings and venue have been mentioned to help you out. We would also like to inform that a special cultural program has been organized for all of you in the evening to give you a taste of how culturally rich and beautiful Odisha is. We'll have Padma Shri Srimati Aruna Mahanti and her troupe performing in the evening. So that's something to look forward to as well.
Hope. This is hope. And this is hope too. Yes, and this. When some people, some innovators, some nations take up responsibility for our beautiful earth, hope is bound to exist. Undoubtedly, renewable energy is responsible, and we are responsible for renewables. We are IREDA. Hope. This is hope. And this is hope too. Yes, and this. When some people, some innovators, some nations take up responsibility for our beautiful earth, hope is bound to exist. Undoubtedly, renewable energy is responsible, and we are responsible for renewables. We are IREDA. By far, India's largest pure-play green financing NBFC, IREDA, was granted the prestigious Navratna status in 2024. And we aim to become a Maharatna CPSE by FY30. And that is our hope. India's green financing sector is poised for a robust growth, thanks to India's largest of 500 gigawatt renewable power capacity by 2030. This is exactly where IREDA comes in, with its comprehensive suite of financial products and services tailored to the renewable energy sector. We have financed projects across solar power, wind power, hydropower, transmission, biomass, including bagasse and industrial cogeneration, waste to energy, ethanol, compressed biogas, EEC, and green mobility. We also have financial offerings for emerging technologies, and which is why we are playing a strategic role in Government of India's initiatives for structural and procedural reforms in the renewable energy sector. So what makes IREDA a truly responsible entity to stakeholders? Firstly, we have expanded our physical presence across India with 6 strategically located branches. Additionally, we have initiated digital process optimization, including a robust IT infrastructure, an online single-point loan application platform, and a standardized loan sanction mechanism. IREDA complies with all relevant regulations for robust corporate governance. And that's not all. We've also set a new benchmark by publishing our annual audited financial results within just 19 days, the fastest in the Indian banking and NBFC space. We are proud to sanction 16.65 crore rupees for 16 CSR projects, with 9 specifically dedicated to health and nutrition. Not only that, we are striving towards achieving carbon neutrality in our own operations by operating a 50 megawatt solar plant at
Ladies and
Kasaragod,
gentlemen,
Kerala,
Honorable Deputy Chief Minister of Odisha,
with
Shri
robust
Teji
business
Singh
growth
is
and
here with us.
profitability.
We would like to extend a warm welcome to him. We would like to take this opportunity to welcome Honorable Minister of State for Power and New and Renewable Energy, Government of India, Shri Shripad Yeso Naik. A very warm welcome to you, sir. Yeah, I'll now request everyone to please settle down. We would be starting in a few minutes. Can I request everyone to please take their seats now? And I'd also request if you can please keep your mobile phones in silent mode now. Ladies and gentlemen, I'll once again request everyone to please take their seats. Those at the back as well. Honorable Union Minister of New and Renewable Energy, Shri Prahlad Joshi, should be joining us in a very short while from now, and we would be starting with the inaugural session. Ladies and gentlemen, our Chief Guest, Honorable Union Minister of New and Renewable Energy, Food and Public Distribution and Consumer Affairs, Shri Prahalad Joshi has just arrived. We extend a very warm welcome to him to this Chintan Shivir 2024. So we extend a warm welcome to all our esteemed guests, and as is the I'll once again request people to please also keep their mobile phones in silent mode now in case they haven't. All right, so once again a very warm welcome to all our esteemed guests to this Chintan Shivir 2024. And as is the customary practice, we would now request them to proceed for lamp lighting for an auspicious beginning to this Chintan Shivir. हमारे विशिष्ट अतिथिगण से अनुरोध है कि दीप प्रज्वलन करके इस महत्वपूर्ण कार्यक्रम का शुभ आरंभ करें. सो जोरदार तालियों से स्वागत करें हमारे गेस्ट्स, हमारे सारे अतिथि का. ऑनरेबल यूनियन Minister for New and Renewable Energy, Food and Public Distribution, Consumer Affairs, Shri Prahalad Joshi. Honorable Deputy Chief Minister of Odisha, Shri K.V. Singhdeo. Honorable Minister of State.
दीपज्योतिर्नमोस्तुते दीपज्योतिर्परब्रह्म दीपज्योतिर्जनार्दनः दीपज्योतिर्परब्रह्म दीपज्योतिर्जनार्दनः दीपो हरतु मे पापं सन्ध्यादीपनमोस्तुते ओ दीपब्रह्मरूपस्त्वं ज्योतिषां प्रभुरव्ययः दीपब्रह्मरूपस्त्वं ज्योतिषां प्रभुरव्ययः आरोग्यं देहि पुत्रांश्च पतिं स्वच्छां हि मे सदा रवेरस्तं समारभ्य यावत् सूर्योदयो भवेत् रवेरस्तं समारभ्य यावत् सूर्योदयो भवेत् यस्य तिष्ठे गृहे दीपः तस्य नास्ति दरिद्रता शुभं कुरु त्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शुभं कुरु त्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शत्रुबुद्धिविनाशाय दीपज्योतिर्नमोस्तुते दीपज्योतिर्नमोस्तुते शुभं कुरु
Well, that
त्वं
marks the
कल्याणम्.
auspicious beginning. Could I now request our esteemed guests to join us on dais with a huge round of applause from all of you. Please welcome on stage Honorable Union Minister of New and Renewable Energy, Food and Public Distribution, Consumer Affairs, Shri Prahalad Joshi, Honorable Deputy Chief Minister of Odisha, Shri K.V. Singhdeo, Honorable Minister of State for Power and New and Renewable Energy, Government of India, Shri Shripad Yeso Naik, Additional Secretary, Ministry of New and Renewable Energy, Government of India, Shri Sudeep Jain, Secretary, Ministry of Power, Government of India, Shri Pankaj Agarwal, Secretary, Ministry of New and Renewable Energy, Government of India, Shri Prashant Kumar Singh. A very warm welcome to all of them. Honorable Chief Minister of Odisha, Shri Mohan Charan Majhi, would be joining us in a short while from now. We once again extend a very warm welcome to all our esteemed guests on dais. And as is the customary practice, we would like to welcome all of them with a bouquet and a uttariya. So could I first request our Honorable Deputy Chief Minister Odisha, Shri K.V. Singhdeo, to welcome our chief guest. सबसे पहले नवीन और नवीकरणीय ऊर्जा मंत्री महोदय माननीय श्री प्रहलाद जोशी जी का स्वागत करेंगे. आप सभी के जानकारी के लिए मैं बताना चाहूंगी कि ये विश्व प्रसिद्ध तसर का उत्तरीय हमारे उड़ीसा राज्य के कामगारों द्वारा निर्मित किया गया है. I'll also request our Honorable Deputy CM Sir to welcome Honorable Minister of State, Power and MNRE, Government of India, Shri Shripad Yeso Naik. Thank you, sir. May I now request Additional Secretary MNRE Shri Sudeep Jain to welcome the Honorable Deputy Chief Minister of Odisha Shri K.V. Singhdeo. Could I now request Secretary Energy Government of Odisha Shri Vishal Kumar Dev to join us on stage and welcome Additional Secretary Shri Sudeep Jain. I would request him to also welcome Secretary Power Government of India Shri Pankaj Agarwal. And I'll also request him to welcome Shri Prashant Kumar Singh, Secretary MNRE Government of India. Thank you everyone. So once again, a warm welcome to all our esteemed dignitaries on dais to this Chintan Shivir 2024. Ladies and gentlemen, having already taken up a leadership role in renewable, India is now aiming to be a global leader in this sector. We are the first G20 nation to achieve the Paris commitment in renewable energy. And in the words of our Honorable Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi ji, not just India, the world today believes that India is the best bet of the 21st century. हमारे माननीय प्रधानमंत्री जी ने ये भी कहा है कि जब 21वीं सदी का इतिहास लिखा जाएगा तो उसमें हमारे भारत के सूर्य क्रांति का अध्याय सुनहरे अक्षरों में लिखा जाएगा. As we all gear up to achieve the 500 gigawatt non-fossil capacity by 2030, may I now request Shri Prashant Kumar Singh, Secretary, Ministry of New and Renewable Energy, Government of India, for the welcome address and context setting of this Chintan Shivir 2024.
A very good morning, all of you. Honorable Minister, New and Renewable Energy, Food and Public Distribution and Consumer Affairs, Shri Prahlad Joshi ji. Honorable Deputy Chief Minister, Odisha, Shri Kanak Vardhan Singh Deo. Honorable Minister of State, Power and MNRE, Shri Shripad Yesu Naik ji. My senior colleague from Ministry of Power, Shri Pankaj Agarwal, Sudeep, distinguished delegates, ladies and gentlemen. First of all, a big thank you to all of you for making it to Bhubaneswar here, to this beautiful city of Bhubaneswar. And thank you, Government of Odisha, for all the support extended in organizing this Chintan Shivir event. I am told that in the last 5 years, this kind of Chintan Shivir has not happened. So it's a great opportunity for all of us to collectively work and chart out the roadmap for the future for this very exciting yet very challenging sector. Let me also share with you that when I joined this ministry on the 1st of October, the first instruction that came from Honorable Minister was that we must post RE Invest in late September. We must get together and have a Chintan Shivir, understand the needs of the industry, the challenges facing us, and then try and chalk out collectively a roadmap for the growth of this wonderful sector. The second instruction that he gave me was again very interesting. That in government, we normally come up with policies, and in our attempt to make it very foolproof, we make so many conditions that actually it doesn't take off on the ground. So the instruction was that since you have joined new, look at policies which are simple to implement, which actually are easier to implement, easily understood, and can take off very fast. So with that in mind, we started working on this preparation for Chintan Shivir. Our knowledge partners did a fantastic job, NSCFI and Grant Thornton, along with our whole team at MNRE. Let me also share that this sector is very unique. I mean, with a massive goal of 500 gigawatt by 2030, and then further 1800 gigawatt by 2047, and net zero by 2070. The short-term and long-term goals and the broad goals are all very clear. How we navigate this journey, how soon we achieve our targets, it all depends on the people who are available here, sitting here. In this particular document that we have shared with all of you, we have delineated 17 tracks. It covers almost everything that the ministry is responsible for, the sector is concerned. And we have carefully tried to curate every session with the relevant people, say about 20-25 in each of the sessions. But please feel free that in case you have another interesting session, you can always join that as well. So there's no bar that only those people who have been listed will join that session. These 17 sessions are all, it covers right from the conventional, the bioenergy under MNRE, right up to green hydrogen, where actually it's a fuel of the future and a lot of work remains to be done. What I would request is that let the ideas flow freely, because most of the time the most brilliant of ideas comes from something which appears ab initio, kind of very sometimes ridiculous also. But then let the idea flow by, and we'll be all there with all of you in all these sessions. And I'm sure that these next 2 days we'll put our heads together and come up with something really good. So I wish this deliberation a very great success. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Shri Singh, for setting the context. May we now request Shri Pankaj Agarwal, Secretary, Ministry of Power, Government of India, for his address.
Honorable Minister for Renewable Energy, Food and Public Distribution, Government of India, Shri Prahlad Joshi ji, Honorable Deputy Chief Minister, Government of Odisha, Shri Kanakvardhan Singh Dev ji, Honorable Minister of State for Power and Renewable Energy, Shri Shripad Nayak ji, my colleague Prashant, Sudeep, other colleagues from Government of India, friends from industry, ladies and gentlemen. The 500 gigawatt non-fossil commitment, or we can say even ambition, is no more an ambition, I would say. It's a necessity. If we have to meet the electricity demand of the country, then we have to realize this 500 gigawatt vision by all means. It is going to be the most cost optimal and achievable solution. I would say that the entire value chain of the sector with the requirements will require of the order of probably 42 lakh crores of investment. I will just compare the numbers. In the past 10 years, we invested about 22 lakh crores in the electricity sector, both renewable and conventional energy, transmission and distribution, even nuclear. And in the next 6 years, we will have to invest 42 lakh crores. That means about $500 billion. That essentially means that our run rate, I would say, has to multiply by 3 times. That means 3x. I'm sure that the industry is driven, the sector is upbeat, but there are going to be 2 key issues before us. The first and foremost will be transmission, and second will be the credible, dependable PPAs. The transmission continues to be a bottleneck across the world. There are friends from industry who are aware of the global scenario. About 1,650 gigawatt of renewable energy capacity is waiting to be connected in the world. But transmission is facing 2 major bottlenecks. Yesterday, the Power Ministers on the 12th of November, we had the Power Ministers Conference, and we devoted probably the entire day on renewable energy, how to get it connected, how to operate it, how to maintain the grid. And it came out, as we all are even otherwise aware, that ROW and supply chain will be the 2 key constraints in transmission. We have urged the states, particularly the RE-rich states, to help us in this regard. Rajasthan, Gujarat, and Karnataka where we are facing the major ROW challenges. And while Andhra, it has improved, now even Rajasthan is improving. In Gujarat and Karnataka, there are still challenges which we are trying to address in conjunction with the state government. On the supply chain side, on the 1st of November, Honorable Prime Minister reviewed the electricity sector. And it was his direction that we must take this opportunity and develop our own supply chain domestically and aspire to cater not just to the Indian requirements, but also to the large requirement which is coming up in the West. So a production-linked incentive scheme is something which we need to now draft and maybe launch by the end of this financial year. On the other hand, I would also like to underline that a quicker solution will be if all the states are going to participate. माननीय उप मुख्यमंत्री जी उड़ीसा के यहाँ पे विराजमान हैं, मैं उनके संज्ञान में लाना चाहूँगा सर कि नेशनल इंस्टीट्यूट ऑफ सोलर एनर्जी से आपका सर अभी रिसोर्स एस्टिमेशन फिर से करवाया गया सर। अपडेटेड रिसोर्स एस्टीमेट के अनुसार सर आपकी 137 गीगावाट की ग्राउंड माउंटेड सोलर का पोटेंशियल है सर, और 33 गीगावाट का सर आपके यहाँ फ्लोटिंग सोलर का पोटेंशियल है। और ये 137 गीगावाट का पोटेंशियल जो असेस किया है नेशनल इंस्टीट्यूट ने सर, सिर्फ 7% ऑफ ए वेस्टलैंड को उसमें अकाउंट फॉर किया है, विच कैन बी डिवोटेड टू सोलर डेवलपमेंट सर। और 25% ऑफ द वाटर बॉडी एरिया को सर उसमें उन्होंने, और लार्ज वाटर बॉडी एरिया को सर उन्होंने इसमें अकाउंट फॉर किया है फॉर डेवलपमेंट ऑफ फ्लोटिंग सोलर सर। आप जैसे स्टेट सर यदि आगे आते हैं तो निश्चित रूप से जो हमारा 500 गीगावाट का एम्बिशन है उसको पूरा करने में हमें सफलता मिलेगी। आई वुड ऑल्सो लाइक टू अंडरलाइन कि आपके स्टेट में से ग्रीन हाइड्रोजन, ग्रीन अमोनिया का काफ़ी एस्पिरेशन है सर। आपने पारादीप और गोपालपुर को भी विकसित करने का आपने एक निर्णय लिया है। On our side, we are developing the transmission infrastructure for Paradeep and Gopalpur. So we have sanctioned the transmission infrastructure, and we have also even awarded the contracts for development of transmission infrastructure for Paradeep and Gopalpur. Sir. PM Kusum and PM Surya Ghar could also be very, very credible solutions. We have the potential of developing at least 30 gigawatt through PM Surya Ghar. And probably our earlier estimates for PM Kusum were of the order of 30 gigawatt. But I would like to inform this House that Maharashtra alone has already awarded contracts for 16 gigawatt, 16,000 megawatt of PM Kusum has been ordered by just one state. And that essentially means that states like Maharashtra, Rajasthan, Gujarat, Karnataka, Andhra, Madhya Pradesh, and why not a state like Odisha, Bihar, UP, if they all come forward, the ambition could be anything more than 50 gigawatts. Other issue which was very clearly delineated before the Honorable Prime Minister was of storage. Our simulations say that even if with 500 gigawatt of renewable non-fossil capacity, we will find it very difficult to meet our demand if we don't have at least 305 gigawatt hour of storage. I was discussing with Sumant this morning, and Sumant mentioned कि PSP तो आपका 5 साल से पहले नहीं आने वाला है, तो जो प्रोजेक्ट आपके चल रहे हैं वो प्रोजेक्ट्स आपके 2030 में आ जाएं, बड़ी बात होगी, या जो अभी स्टार्ट नहीं हुए, जहाँ कंस्ट्रक्शन शुरू नहीं हुआ है. In our estimate, about 19,000 megawatt of PSP capacity can be realized by 2030. That is the bare minimum, and if we don't do it, we will be in difficulty. And for the BESS, the battery energy storage systems, about 42 gigawatt of capacity will be required. That essentially means if I add the two, it will be 61 gigawatt of storage capacity that we will need. Now the good news is that the states are coming forward. They are contracting the battery energy storage capacities. Again, Maharashtra and Gujarat have taken the lead, and other states are also following through. The prices of battery system is coming down. So there is good possibility that we can realize this storage potential largely through the batteries and in the given time frame. Rather, if you ask me as Power Secretary what I am expecting, I want more and more of this capacity to come before 2027, because that is the time I will start feeling the crunch in the evening peak demand. Another good solution which some of the states are trying is distributed battery energy storage systems. And that's a very good thing. In my view, that's a really great idea, that on the one hand, we co-locate battery energy storage systems with the generation. And the RE-rich states can surely look forward to engaging with the developers, asking them, encouraging them to put more and more of battery energy storage co-located new solar capacities. How it is going to help us? Like in Rajasthan and Gujarat, again, I'm coming back all the time to Rajasthan and Gujarat, but pardon me for that reference. But whatever transmission capacities we have built, most of it is utilized only for 6 to 8 hours a day. If we simply put new capacities, add the storage, and utilize the remaining 16 hours of the transmission capacity which is available, probably that is going to help us in a big, big way. We have already requested the Central Electricity Regulatory Commission to define connectivity very, very differently from the way we understand connectivity. सर, मैं आपके ध्यान में लाना चाहूँगा कि अभी हम जब किसी सोलर प्लांट डेवलपर को कनेक्टिविटी देते हैं तो अंडरलाइंग अंडरस्टैंडिंग ये है कि हमको 24 घंटे के लिए कनेक्टिविटी मिल गई. बट द क्वेश्चन इज, इफ द अदर पर्सन इज गोइंग टू सप्लाई ओनली फॉर 6 to 8 hours a day, remaining 16 hours should be open for other developers. Till now there was a challenge because cost of storage was high. But now with the cost of storage coming down to say about 4 rupees 50 paisa per kilowatt hour on a levelized cost basis, then probably, and very soon, probably we will hit something like 3 rupees 75 paisa or 4 rupees. This has become very much viable. And that is why now we have started discussing, and now we will be building it in our regulations, in the connectivity regulations. Distributed resources will, the storage basically, the distributed storage will help us in managing the grid much better. Will optimize our investment on the in the distribution infrastructure and also the intrastate transmission infrastructure. So with these two important issues of transmission and storage, I would request the stakeholders present in the conference to devote some time on these two issues. I am sure in the evening we are having a 2-hour session on transmission, how we can do it, where we need to do it, where we need to prioritize, but also deliberate on how fast we can bring in the storages. Thank you so much. Have a very, very successful conference.
Thank you, Shri Agarwal, for your informative and insightful address. Ladies and gentlemen, we are privileged to have with us today Shri Shripad Yeso Naik, Honorable Minister of State, Power, New and Renewable Energy, Government of India. He is entrusted with twin responsibilities of ramping up country's power capacity as well as its renewable commitment. आज इस चिंतन शिविर के अवसर पर आइए हम माननीय मंत्री महोदय श्री नाइक जी से इस दिशा में गतिशील होने के लिए उनकी चिंताधारा जानने का सौभाग्य प्राप्त करें. उनसे अनुरोध है कि वो अपना अभिभाषण प्रदान करें.
Namaskar. Honorable Union Minister for New and Renewable Energy, Food and Public Distribution and Consumer Affairs, Mani Sri Prahlad Joshi ji. Honorable Deputy Chief Minister of Odisha and Energy Minister, Mani Sri Kanakvardhan Singh Dev ji. Secretary of Power Sri Pankaj Agrawal ji. Secretary Renewable Energy Sri Prashant Kumar Singh ji. Additional Secretary MNRE Sri Sudeep Jain ji. All the officials of central and state government, CEOs, all the speakers, our friend from media, and dignitaries present here. It is a privilege to address you all at this prestigious Chintan Shivir, which bring together to brainstorm some of the finest minds, policymakers, thought leaders, corporate world, financial institutions, and stakeholders dedicated to this mission of advancing the renewable energy in India. Today, India has become the 5th largest economy in the world and is on its way to becoming the 3rd largest economy in next 5 years under the visionary leadership of our Honorable Prime Minister Narendra Bhai Modi ji. And at this significant juncture in our great nation's history, an inevitable march towards becoming a developed nation, the renewable energy sector is playing a crucial and stellar role, which is a matter of great pride for all of us. Today, India has the 4th largest installed renewable energy capacity and 5th largest solar energy capacity in the world. We have an ambitious target of 500 gigawatt of non-fossil energy capacity by 2030, with around 280 gigawatt from the solar energy sector. You all are aware that we have recently crossed the important milestone of 200 gigawatt of renewable energy capacity, including large hydro project, and we have jointly celebrated it in the Gandhinagar 2 months back during the Renewable Energy Innovation Summit. The Panchamrit mantra given by Honorable Prime Minister at COP26 outlined our strategy to combat the climate change, and this is underscore our resolve to get our non-fossil energy capacity to 500 gigawatt by 2030, to meet 50% of our energy requirement till 2030 with renewable energy, to reduce our projected carbon emission by 1 billion ton by 2030, to reduce the carbon intensity of its economy by 45% by 2030, to achieve net zero target by 2070. Accordingly, the Government of India has targeted to become the energy independent by 2047. From just over 25 gigawatt of renewable energy capacity in 2013, we are now stand at 200 gigawatt plus, with a firm trajectory towards achieving 500 gigawatt by 2030. Solar energy has been the driving force behind this transformation. We have seen the rapid development in solar power project across the country, taking the solar capacity 2.6 gigawatt in 2014 to over 19.7 gigawatt in September 2024. The International Solar Alliance, a pioneering initiative led by India, has now brought together over 120 countries united by the shared goal of promoting the solar energy. India's wind energy sector has also grown significantly, contributing around 47 gigawatt to our renewable energy mix. Through dedicated policy and incentive, we have harnessed wind power in states like Gujarat, Tamil Nadu, Maharashtra and Rajasthan, supporting the thousands of rural and coastal livelihood. Green hydrogen is emerging as the next frontier in India's clean energy story. The National Green Hydrogen Mission was launched by the Government of India to make it a global hub for the production, utilization and exports of green hydrogen. The mission aims to decarbonize the major sector of the economy. The mission targets the production of 5 million metric ton of the green hydrogen per year by 2030, supported by installation up to 125 gigawatt of renewable energy capacity dedicated to the green hydrogen production. Our bioenergy initiative, particularly in agriculture waste and biofuel, are paving the way to an efficient circular economy. The launch of waste to energy plant, particularly in the urban centers, is a powerful step towards the managing the municipal waste and reducing the carbon emission. As renewable energy constitutes a larger share of our energy mix, we are investing in the energy storage technologies such as lithium, ion and advanced battery system. Our effort to modernize the national grid with a focus of robust transmission infrastructure are critical to ensuring the reliability of the efficiency in energy distribution. PM Kusum and PM Suryaghar Muft Bijli are the flagship scheme of our ministry, which are transforming the energy landscape of the country by keeping the common man at the center. PM Kusum scheme is one of the largest initiatives in the world to provide the clean to more than 35 lakhs farmers by solarizing their agricultural pump. It aims to provide the energy and water security to farmers and enhance their income, de-dieselize the farm sector and reduce the environmental pollution. PM Suryaghar Mukt Bijli Yojana, on the other hand, aims to provide the free electricity to 1 crore household in India who opt to install the rooftop solar electricity unit. The household will be able to get 300 units of the electricity free every month. The scheme has an outlay of rupees 75,021 crores. In 2020, the introduction of the production linked incentive scheme for high efficiency solar PV modules for enhancing the India's manufacturing capabilities and export under the Atmanirbhar Bharat initiative was made. The financial outlay for PLI for high efficiency solar PV modules over a 5 years period was rupees 4,500 crores. In this budget, an additional allocation of rupees 19,500 crores was made for the PLI scheme for solar cell and modules, raising the existing PLI scheme for solar equipment from 4,500 crore to 24,000 crores, which has been translating into creating an additional manufacturing capacity up to the 45 gigawatt in the country. The Chintan Shivir, we are gathered here today, marks a crucial moment in our journey towards the energy independence. As we move forward, it is imperative to ensure that our policies are inclusive, adaptable, and innovative. This forum provides a platform for introspection, ideation, and collaboration. The dialogues and deliberation made over next 2 days and the recommendation that emerge here will play a pivotal role in refining our strategies as well as identifying the actionable step to overcome challenges as we seek to achieve the target of 500 gigawatt by 2030 and progress towards the next goal of 1,800 gigawatt by 2047. In the midst of the challenges, the world today needs a avenue, new resolutions. Today, every country in the world is moving towards the clean energy, and anyone's eye is on India, and the government of India will support any such technological advancement and innovation idea which helps make world a clean, green, and better place to live. I'm sure this discussion at this Chintan Shivir will expand this spirit. I congratulate organizer for bringing all the stakeholders together and extend my best wishes for this brainstorming Chintan Shivir. Dhanyavad. Thank you very much. Jai Hind.
Thank you so much, Honorable Minister, sir, for your insightful words. Ladies and gentlemen, moving on, we have with us on stage Shri Kanakvardhan Singh Deo, Honorable Deputy Chief Minister, Government of Odisha, and also Honorable Minister, Energy and Agriculture and Farmers Empowerment, Government of Odisha. It was just 2 days back that he presented the state's energy transition plan at the Power Ministers Conference at New Delhi and highlighted Odisha's pioneering role in power sector reforms and its commitment to advancing India's green energy agenda. So it will be an honor to get valuable insights from him on the occasion of this Chintan Shivir.
Honorable Minister Shri Prahlad Joshi ji, Minister for Renewable Energy, Food and Public Distribution and Consumer Affairs, Honorable Minister Shri Shripad Yasur Naik ji, Honorable Minister for State for Power and New Renewable Energy, Secretary Ministry of Government of India for Shri Prashant Kumar Singh, Shri Pankaj Agarwal ji, Secretary Ministry of Power, Shri Sudeep Jain, Additional Secretary Ministry of New and Renewable Energy, dignitaries of the dais. First and foremost, I would like to welcome you all to the land of Lord Jagannath. इस पावन धरती पे आप सबका स्वागत करते हुए मैं आप सबको उड़ीसा सरकार की तरफ से ये आश्वासन देना चाहता हूँ कि जो विज़न हम सबके सामने माननीय प्रधानमंत्री जी ने रखा है, जो टारगेट्स सेट किए हैं, उसमें उड़ीसा सरकार आपके साथ आगे बढ़ने को तैयार है। मैं कुछ विषय यहाँ पे आपके सामने कहना चाहता हूँ, इनका जिक्र करना चाहता हूँ कि उड़ीसा के पास में हर तरह का पोटेंशियल यहाँ पे है, चाहे वो सोलर में हो, चाहे रिन्यूएबल में हो, बैटरी पीएसपी में हो, इस सब की हमारे पास में संभावना बहुत है। और इस को लेके माननीय प्रधानमंत्री जी की जो डायरेक्शंस हैं, उसको अगर हमको मीट करना है, हर दिन each and every day is important. We have to move on a fast track basis and not waste time. मैं मान्यवर प्रहलाद जी से एक निवेदन करना चाहता हूं कि प्रहलाद जी एक ग्रुप गॉम आप करें जिसमें सिनर्जी रहे विद इन स्टेट्स, सो दैट आपकी अध्यक्षता में रहे, जिसमें समय समय पे हम लोग खाली रिव्यू ना करें, उसको आगे किस तरह से लेके चलना है उस पर चर्चाएं हो, तो जो प्रधानमंत्री जी की योजना है, जो सपना है, उसको हम लोग हासिल कर पाएंगे। हमारे यहाँ पे जो अभी मैं पंकज जी से बात कर रहा था कि हमारे जो हीराकुद रिजर्वायर है उस पर फ्लोटिंग सोलर का संभावना बहुत है। केंद्र सरकार से हमको कुछ परमिशंस की आवश्यकता है, आपके सहयोग से हम वो क्लियरेंसेस लेके उसको आगे ले जाने की व्यवस्था करेंगे। उसके अलावा कुछ विषय ऐसे हैं जिसमें मेरा विश्वास है कि ये 2 दिन के शिविर में आप सब जो चर्चाएं होंगी, उन चर्चाओं को आप आगे ले जाने में आपको सबको सहयोग होगा, और यू विल गिव अस ऑल अ डायरेक्शन हाउ टू टेक थिंग्स फॉरवर्ड। आपका जिक्र किया पंकज जी ने कि मैंने सुमन जी ने कुछ चर्चाएं की हैं। आई बिलीव दैट वी नीड टू वॉक द टॉक एंड नॉट जस्ट टॉक द वॉक, एंड आई एम श्योर वी विल, आफ्टर दिस 2-day कॉन्क्लेव इज ओवर, ये चिंतन शिविर ख़त्म जब तक होगा, यू विल ऑल गो बैक एंड be much more wiser as to how do we take things forward. With these words, I thank Prahlad ji for having decided on the venue to be in Odisha, and I once again thank you all for having taken the trouble of coming to Odisha, to the land of Lord Jagannath for this Chintan Shivir, and wish you all the success and wish the seminar all the success. Thank you. Jai Hind.
Thank you. Thank you so much, sir. Well, we would just like to inform that due to some unforeseen circumstances, Honorable Chief Minister of Odisha, Shri Mohan Charan Majhi, would not be able to join us. However, we'd like to move on. And we are today truly honored to have with us Honorable Union Minister, New and Renewable Energy, Food and Public Distribution and Consumer Affairs, Shri Prahalad Joshi, as the chief guest. As India envisions a new wave of transformation in the energy sector, and the world takes a cue from Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji's commitment to an ambitious 5-part Panchamrit pledge, it is Shri Prahalad Joshi who is leading the campaign to achieve the 500 gigawatt fossil fuel-free installed capacity in the country. Under his leadership, India has already reached a significant milestone in its renewable energy journey, with the country's total renewable energy capacity crossing the 200 gigawatt mark as of October 10, 2024. प्रधानमंत्री मोदी जी की दूरदर्शिता और श्री जोशी जी के नेतृत्व में इस महत्वाकांक्षी मंत्रालय में एक नई क्रांति की उद्घोषणा हुई है। तो आइए हम उन्हीं का मार्गदर्शन लेते हुए जानते हैं कि किस तरह इस लक्ष्य की पूर्ति में हम अपना योगदान दे सकते हैं। उनसे अनुरोध है कि वो अपना वक्तव्य हम सबके सामने रखें।
जय जगन्नाथ। श्री कनकवर्धन सिंह देव जी, ऑनरेबल डिप्टी चीफ मिनिस्टर, श्री श्रीपाद येसो नायक, MOS पावर एंड MOS MNRE, सेक्रेटरी पावर श्री अग्रवाल जी, सेक्रेटरी MNRE प्रशांत कुमार सिंह जी, एडिशनल सेक्रेटरी सुदीप जैन जी, चीफ सेक्रेटरी ऑफ ओडिशा श्री मनोज आहूजा जी, डिस्टिंग्विश्ड लीडर्स, स्टेक होल्डर्स and all the officials who are present here. First of all, I am really thankful to Government of Odisha, particularly to the Chief Minister and to Honorable Deputy Chief Minister, who is holding the energy portfolio also, for providing this opportunity. And बहुत बढ़िया अरेंजमेंट आपने की है, इसलिए आपको मैं बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद अर्पित करता हूँ। मैं ये भी आपको अवगत करना चाहता हूँ, जब मैं कोल मंत्री बना, माइंस मंत्री बना, हमने पहले चिंतन शिविर कावड़िया में किया था, क्योंकि बहुत बड़ी मात्रा में कोल इंपोर्ट होता था। जो जैसे PM साहब ने कहा, मेरा भी ट्रांसफॉर्मेशन हुआ है। और तो बाद में हमने सोचा, कावड़िया में तो हमने किया, लेकिन अगर कोल और मेन में कुछ कर सकते हैं तो उड़ीसा में हो सकता है। एक दिन का मीटिंग हमने मेफेयर में किया था उस टाइम। तो उसके बाद उड़ीसा के बहुत ऑफिशियल्स, बहुत सीनियर ऑफिशियल्स उस टाइम हमको बहुत अच्छे फीडबैक देते। उसके कारण आज लगभग कोल में क्राइसिस नहीं है। करेक्ट है ना पंकज जी? हाँ, लगभग नहीं है। उस टाइम तो हर रोज़ इतना क्रिटिकल, उतना क्रिटिकल, ये क्रिटिकल। और मुझे PMO से फ़ोन आते थे, कभी कभी PM ही फ़ोन करते थे, प्रहलाद क्या हो रहा है देखो, कभी भी देश में डार्क नहीं होना चाहिए, ऐसे PM मुझे वार्निंग देते थे। लेकिन PM भी मुझे बहुत अच्छे तरीके से, PM was used to guide very regularly, एंड उसके कारण और उसमें ओडिशा का योगदान बहुत है। आज हमने लगभग क्राइसिस से दूर हो गया है। एज फार एज कोल एंड इवन इन माइनिंग सेक्टर वी हैव मूव फॉरवर्ड वेरी वेल, अदर माइनिंग सेक्टर ऑल्सो very shortly. All other issues also the new ministry will sort out like that. So with the blessings of Jagannath, Lord Jagannath, ये जो हमने बहुत बड़ा लक्ष्य लेके जा रहे हैं, उसके लिए हमको जगन्नाथ जी का आशीर्वाद से हम ये अचीव कर सकते हैं, ऐसे विश्वास के साथ मैंने ये डिसाइड किया ओडिशा में ही चिंतन शिविर करेंगे और आपने सहयोग किया, आपके धन्यवाद। एंड आई एम थैंकफुल टू द ऑल स्टेक होल्डर्स हु आर दी almost from the private sector, other officials from the state are also there. But जब भी मैं इन लोगों से मिलता था तो मुझे कहा जाता था कि इसमें पावर में प्रॉब्लम है, ट्रांसमिशन में प्रॉब्लम है, और जब पावर वालों से बात करते थे वो बोलते थे हमको पहले वो तो ये है ये वो है। सम आई एम नॉट ब्लेमिंग एनी ऑफ देम. Even Power Ministry is also doing their best. They had also had a meeting of all ministers recently, and they are also very positively, proactively, especially Minister and the Secretary Pankaj Agrawal. They are quite proactive as far as MNRE is also concerned. But लेकिन क्या होता था, कोऑर्डिनेशन कभी कभी स्टेट के साथ MNRE के साथ हमारा पावर मंत्रालय, इसमें सब में राइट ऑफ वे, इस सब का इशू चलता ही रहता था. तो इसलिए हमने सोचा सबको एक रूम में बिठाएंगे, जब तक पूरा सोल्यूशन लाके एक रोड मैप नहीं बनाते तब तक ये डोरी ओपन नहीं करेंगे हम. वी विल मेक देम टू सिट एवरीबडी हियर सो दैट वी शुड अराइव एट ए कंप्लीट कंक्लूजन and also create a roadmap where 500 gigawatt is not just a slogan that has to be achieved. तो इसलिए मैं समझता हूँ कम से कम हमारे जो स्टेक होल्डर्स है, प्राइवेट इन्वेस्टर्स जो बैठे हुए हैं, दे आर ऑल्सो थैंकफुल टू मी एंड माई मिनिस्ट्री, बिकॉज जो बोलते थे बाद में इसके लिए हम सब लोग एकत्र होकर नहीं बैठते थे, लेकिन हमने ये व्यवस्था की है. आई थिंक यू आर ऑल्सो हैप्पी अबाउट इट. एंड गैदरिंग ऑफ सच ब्रिलियंट एंड डाइवर्स माइंड्स इज अ टेस्टामेंट ओवर शेयर्ड कमिटमेंट टुवर्ड्स द सस्टेनेबल फ्यूचर. देयरफॉर 2 दिन का हमारा ब्रेनस्टॉर्मिंग होना चाहिए. With our collective experience and wisdom, I am hopeful we will go forward and achieve our target. As I said, it is not just a target. ये हमारा संकल्प है कि 500 गीगावाट हमको अचीव करना है. ये प्रधानमंत्री जी का कॉल है, हमारा सबका देश का संकल्प है, हमको इसके में आगे बढ़ना है. However, I am very happy that today we have achieved 212 gigawatt capacity of non-fossil sources as on today. 212. It is quite a good achievement. And we need to achieve another 300, nearly about 300, little less than 300. So when we had 4th RE investors meet in Gandhinagar, where the Gujarat government hosted, where Honorable Prime Minister personally he had attended, उसमें जब हमने बातचीत की थी, उससे भी पहले हमारा बहुत होमवर्क हुआ था, बहुत मंत्रियों से, मुख्यमंत्रियों से मेरा बात हुआ था. For this first time many chief ministers came there. एंड मिनिस्टर्स, बड़ी मात्रा में मिनिस्टर्स भी आए थे स्टेट से. मैंने फाइनेंस मिनिस्टर से बात की थी, और हमारा सेक्रेटरी, तब के सेक्रेटरी देन OSD, दोनों सेक्रेटरी फाइनेंस, सेक्रेटरी बैंकिंग सर्विसेज से, मीन्स फाइनेंशियल सर्विसेज से बात की थी. तो मैनी बैंकर्स हैड ऑल्सो कम, देन फाइनेंसर ऑल्सो हैड कम. ऑल पुट टुगेदर ये इन्वेस्टमेंट का जो इशू है उसके बारे में बोथ प्राइवेट इन्वेस्टमेंट, प्राइवेट स्टेक होल्डर्स एंड द बैंकर्स, फाइनेंशियल इंस्टीट्यूशन टुगेदर दे कमिटेड in presence of many ministers, secretary, that banker said, institution said, stakeholder said, we will invest around 32 lakh crores. That was the commitment. हमने बोला था एक पत्र दे दो आप, So that they give the commitment letters. After that, stakeholders also give the commitment. तो दोनों मिला के 370 गीगावाट हो गया, लेकिन इसको अचीव कैसे करना है, दैट वाज द मेजर इशू. तो इसीलिए जब मैं सीईओ से तब भी एक छोटा रूम में बैठा था, द इशू वॉज रेज्ड अबाउट द लैंड. लैंड के इशू बहुत आता है. So that's why I decided to call the both stakeholders and the ministers, officials from the state government and also from power ministry, because of the transmission, to bridge the mismatch between the upcoming RE capacities and our transmission readiness. We requested the power secretary to be here. Throughout the day he will be here, and I am thankful to him also. And पावर परचेज एग्रीमेंट एक इशू है, तो इसीलिए हमने REIS को इनवाइट किया, डिस्कॉम रिप्रेजेंटेटिव्स को भी इनवाइट किया हूँ, और स्टोरेज. ये सब 2-3-4 मेजर इशू था. इसके लिए हमने सबको इधर बुलाया. मेरा सोच है, मेरा एक अनुभव है. 2014 में प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी जी प्रधानमंत्री बनने के बाद, मैं तब मंत्री नहीं था, मैं प्रदेश अध्यक्ष था पार्टी का, कर्नाटक प्रदेश का. तो मैंने मेरा कॉन्स्टिट्यूंसी का एयरपोर्ट, जो छोटा एयरपोर्ट था, वो अपग्रेड करने के लिए हमने रिक्वेस्ट की. तो पहले ही लैंड एक्वायर्ड था, लेकिन पोजीशन में नहीं लिया था. तो मोदी जी आने के बाद हमने पोजीशन लिया, लेकिन उधर घर लोग वगैरह बसे हुए थे. तो सब तैयार हुआ 2 वर्ष में. मैंने सिविल एविएशन मंत्री और कर्नाटक के मंत्री थे श्री अनंत कुमार जी, स्वर्गीय अनंत कुमार जी, दोनों को हमने बुलाने का निर्णय की. कैसे होता है देखो, सरकारी व्यवस्था कैसे रहता है. तो जब मैंने इन्विटेशन दिया, क्योंकि रनवे अपग्रेडेशन हो गया था, टर्मिनल हो गया था, तो जब मैं दोनों को बुलाया और लोकल ऑफिसर्स को कहा, डीसी को कहा, पुलिस कमिश्नर को कार्यक्रम होने वाला है, डीसी ने एकदम घबरा गया, सर थोड़ा और समय चाहिए. मैंने बोला क्यों? और थोड़ा इश्यू है. मैंने बोला क्या इशू है? मैंने देख के तो आया. तो बोला कुछ यूटिलिटी शिफ्ट करना है. तो क्या यूटिलिटी है? 3-4 पोल्स थे, दैट पोल व्हिच वर डिफंक्ड, दैट वर टू बी शिफ्टेड. 4-5 महीने से, 6 महीने से शिफ्ट नहीं हो रहा था. कारण क्या था? शिफ्ट कौन करना. तो डिस्कॉम को बोलते थे, डिस्कॉम बोला पैसा कौन देना है. होता है जी 50-60 हज़ार, सब इधर से उधर शिफ्ट करना. और डीसी बोले तो हमारे पास पैसा नहीं है, मेरा काम है सिविल एविएशन है. सिविल एविएशन बोला था हमको पूरा ठीक करके लैंड देंगे. हमने तो सब बना दिया, अभी तो निकालने का उनका काम है. तो मैंने सबको बुलाया, सबको बुला के डीसी को पूछा, ये क्या है यार, ये तो मैंने मंत्री को इनवाइट किया हूँ, आप लोग ऐसे क्या है देखेंगे. चलो 4-5 खंबे थे. तो मैंने बोला, ये कॉन्ट्रैक्टर को बोला, ये फंक्शनल है क्या? नहीं है. तो हटा के फेंक दो, क्या होता है, बाजू में फेंक दो देखेंगे. वो हटा के फेंक दिया, एयरपोर्ट चालू हो गया. ये सिस्टम ऐसा हो गया है, एक साथ सब ईमेल भेजते हैं, नहीं तो लेटर लिखते हैं. दिस इज द प्रॉब्लम इन द सिस्टम. दैट्स व्हाई आई डिसाइडेड एंड टोल्ड टू द सेक्रेटरी, एज सून एज प्रशांत जी ज्वाइंड, आई सेड ये सबको एक साथ बुलाओ, लेट अस हैव ए ब्रेनस्टॉर्मिंग. हमको करना है, देश के लिए करना है. देखिए जी, जैसे श्रीपाद जी ने उल्लेख किया, वी आर गोइंग टू बिकम 5th लार्जेस्ट इकोनॉमी. वी आर ऑलरेडी 5th लार्जेस्ट इकोनॉमी. वी आर गोइंग टू बिकम द 3rd लार्जेस्ट इकोनॉमी. दुनिया में हमको बहुत अवसर दे रहे हैं जी. अभी भी जो ग्लोबल वैश्विक बदलाव हो रहा है भारत को बहुत बड़ा मौका मिलने वाला है, ऑलरेडी मौका है। और प्रधानमंत्री जी के नेतृत्व में हमारे देश के ऊपर दुनिया भी पूरा विश्वास कर रहे हैं बिकॉज ऑफ एबिलिटी एंड द स्टेबिलिटी। बहुत बड़ा विश्वास है दुनिया का। और मैं ये भी आपको कहना चाहता हूं, दुनिया में काम करने के लिए लोग भी नहीं है जी। इंडिया इज द ओनली कंट्री वेयर द ह्यूज ह्यूमन रिसोर्सेस अवेलेबल। मैंने एक देश के लिए अभी भी गया था, उधर एक मुझे एक व्यक्ति मिला, तो ही वॉज एक्सप्लेनिंग मी, तो आप कहाँ रहते हो? तो वो उधर ही का था, लेकिन रहते थे होटल में। मैंने बोला होटल में क्यों रह रहे, आपका घर वगैरह नहीं क्या? है जी। लेकिन इधर क्यों रह रहे हो जी? तो बोला मेरा घर में हीटर खराब हो गया है जी। हीटर खराब हुआ है तो क्या है, आप एक मैकेनिक को बुला के ठीक कर सकते हैं। सर मैकेनिक को बुलाया हूँ, लेकिन उन्होंने अपॉइंटमेंट दिया है 6 वीक के बाद, 7 सप्ताह के बाद अपॉइंटमेंट दिया है। और उधर के हमारा काउंसिलेट ऑफिस में बोल रहे थे मुझे दांत में दर्द हो रहा था, अपॉइंटमेंट पूछा तो 8 वीक के बाद दे दिया। दुनिया में स्थिति ऐसा है जी। तो इसीलिए इंडिया इज गोइंग टू बिकम द मैन्युफैक्चरिंग हब ऑफ द वर्ल्ड। इंडिया इज गोइंग टू बिकम द वर्ल्ड फैक्ट्री एंड इंडिया हैज गॉट क्रेडिबिलिटी, इंडिया हैज गॉट एबिलिटी एंड इंडिया हैज गॉट स्टेबिलिटी एंड दिस स्टेबिलिटी एंड द पॉलिसी, there is no policy paralysis now, the policies are very very stable। 10 बरस में हमने इधर उधर कुछ नहीं किया जी मोदी जी के नेतृत्व में। तो अगर इस टाइम हम 2047 मद्देनजर रखते हुए अगर हम सोचते नहीं है तो सब मिलके हम माइंड अप्लाई नहीं करते हैं, विथ ऑल कंसर्न हम अर्ज से काम नहीं करते हैं, तो आगे वाले पीढ़ी हमको क्षमा नहीं करेंगे जी। मैं बहुत इमोशनल होकर आपको बात कर रहा हूँ। लेट अस टुगेदर, हम बहुत तय दिल से काम करेंगे। मैं सब विशेषता ऑफिसर से बात कर रहा हूँ, क्योंकि जो प्राइवेट लोग हैं उनका तो इन्वेस्टमेंट रहता है, तो उनका कंसर्न रहता है, दिल में आग रहता है। हम सब ऑफिसर्स मिलके, मंत्री लोग मिलके, एग्जीक्यूटिव्स ऑल पुट टुगेदर, सबसे बातचीत करके विथ ए ग्रेट पॉजिटिव माइंड एंड पॉजिटिव अप्रोच, all ministries here, we are not here to shift the blame. Buck should top at my table, that should be the approach of everybody. For that this Chintan Shivir is being called। इसीलिए पीएम सूर्यघर हो, पीएम कुसुम हो, जिसका जिक्र ऑलरेडी हुआ है, इसमें भी हमको बहुत बड़ा अपॉर्चुनिटी है। लोकली लोगों को एम्प्लॉयमेंट भी मिलता है। तो ये सब मिलके all put together we should work together। एक ये चिंतन शिविर के लिए चिंतन शिविर नहीं है। मैं सभी मेरा मंत्रालय के ऑफिशियल्स को कहता हूँ, मैं सिर्फ 2 सेशन के लिए नहीं रहूँगा, क्योंकि पहले ही फिक्स कर दिया है वो कुछ बैटरी क्या है, बैटरी व्हीकल, बैटरी कार्स हैंड ओवर करना है। तो मैं हेलीकॉप्टर में होके 1.5 घंटे 2 घंटे में आता हूँ, पूरा 2 दिन बैठता हूँ आपके साथ। और आई विल ट्राई टू लीड बिकॉज आई एम ए नॉन टेक्निकल पर्सन, बट हम इन लोगों से, आप लोगों से बैठ के बातचीत करके आई वॉन्ट टू अंडरस्टैंड, आई वॉन्ट टू लर्न। आई हैव नो हेजिटेशन टेलिंग दैट इट इज ए प्रोसेस ऑफ लर्निंग एंड मैन शुड लर्न थ्रू आउट हिज लाइफ। दिस इज वॉट आई बिलीव। सो इसीलिए हम सब मिलके काम करेंगे एंड दिस इज ए बिग अपॉर्चुनिटी, क्योंकि हमारा रिक्वायरमेंट भी, जैसे एक दिन मुझे पंकज जी बता रहे थे, पंकज जी शायद पंकज जी मुझे समझता हूँ, आवर पावर रिक्वायरमेंट इज गोइंग टू बी डबल्ड बाय 2032। करेक्ट ना? आप ही बता रहे थे ना, 2032। तो जब इतना बड़ी मात्रा में पावर का रिक्वायरमेंट ज़्यादा हो रहा है और वैश्विक आज के स्थिति जो अभी यूएस में इलेक्शन हुआ, उसके बाद तो बहुत बड़ा बदलाव हम देख सकते हैं. If you properly visualize, India has got a huge opportunity. तो अपॉर्चुनिटी को, ये जो बाल रहता है ना, आगे रहता है. जब हमारे सामने वो जाते हैं ना, हमको ठीक तरह से पकड़ना है, नहीं तो एक बार आगे गए तो हम ठीक पकड़ नहीं सकते हैं. तो इसीलिए दिस इज द बेस्ट अपॉर्चुनिटी. आई ओनली अपील टू यू, लेट अस टुगेदर 2 दिन में, बिकॉज 500 गीगावाट 6 years, 500 gigawatt 6 years, 10 years all put together 22 lakh crores investment. 6 years we should at least 6 years. पंकज जी ने तो 42 लाख crores बताया, लेकिन हमारे मंत्रालय का आकलन थोड़ा अलग है. 32 lakhs बोले थे आप, ओनली फॉर ट्रांसमिशन मिला के 42 lakh crores. So this is a huge thing. So all put together, let us work. प्रधानमंत्री जी ने बहुत इसमें हमारे से और स्टेक होल्डर से, हम सब से बहुत बड़ा उम्मीद रखा है. और प्रधानमंत्री जी ने जो कुछ भी बदलाव इस 10 वर्ष में लाया है देश में, यू सी द एयरपोर्ट, यू सी द हाईवेज, यू सी द रेल इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर, एंड आप समझ लीजिए जी, just in 2012, before we could come, Modi ji could come to the power, the entire North India was in dark for almost for 3 days. Today India is almost surplus, means we are the net surplus in the power. This is the situation. देश में बदलाव आ रहा है. Foreign direct investment, foreign exchange reserve, we are the top 4 in the world today. इतना सब बढ़िया काम हमारे देश में हो रहा है. All put together, मैं once again I appeal to you. तो सब ऑफिशियल्स को, स्टेक होल्डर्स को इधर उधर घूमना नहीं है, एक्टिवली पार्टिसिपेट करो, अप्लाई योर माइंड. जो कुछ भी प्रदेश से आए हुए ऑफिसर्स को, हम तो आपको रिक्वेस्ट ही कर सकते हैं, क्योंकि हम तो आपके बॉस नहीं हैं, तो इसीलिए हम आपको रिक्वेस्ट ही कर सकते हैं. आप बैठिए, आपके प्रदेश के हित के लिए और ओवरऑल फॉर देश हित के लिए हम सब लोग मिलके इस 2 दिवस में हम एक पक्का रोड मैप, एक ब्लूप्रिंट तैयार करेंगे. उसका इम्प्लीमेंटेशन के लिए हम एक टास्क फोर्स भी करेंगे, पावर मंत्री जी से बातचीत करके, पावर सेक्रेटरी के सहयोग के साथ हम एक टास्क फोर्स बनाएंगे माननीय प्रधानमंत्री जी की अनुमति से. और दैट टास्क फोर्स वी विल ट्राई टू, इफ दैट इज परमिटेड एंड इट इज डन, every month we will sit together and we will see that every state is persuaded, every stakeholder is persuaded, and Power Ministry and MNRE both together we will work together to achieve this target. I wish this Chintan Shivir all the success with your active and very, very proactive participation. Thank you. I once again thanks Government of Odisha and its all officials under the leadership of Chief Minister and Deputy Chief Minister. Thank you. Dhanyawad.
Thank you so much, sir, for your inspiring address. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we would now like to take this opportunity to felicitate our esteemed guests on dais with a token of appreciation from our side. So I would be first requesting the Honorable Deputy Chief Minister Odisha, Shri K.V. Singhdeo, to do the honors and felicitate Honorable Union Minister New and Renewable Energy, Shri Prahlad Joshi. आप सभी को बता दें, ये चांदी ताराकाशी का बनाया गया स्मृति चिन्ह जगत के नाथ जगन्नाथ जी की प्रतिमूर्ति है. I'll also request him to felicitate Shri Shripad Yeso Naik, Honorable Minister of State, Power and New and Renewable Energy. Could I now request Secretary MNRE Shri Prashant Singh to do the honors and felicitate the Honorable Deputy Chief Minister of Odisha, Shri K.V. Singhdeo. Can I now invite on stage Energy Secretary, Government of Odisha, Shivir Kumar Dev, to do the honours, and felicitate Secretary Power, Government of India, Shri Pankaj Agarwal. I'll also request him to do the honours and felicitate Secretary MNRE, Government of India, Shri Prashant Kumar Singh. I'll also request him to felicitate Additional Secretary MNRE, Government of India, Shri Sudeep Jain. Thank you, sir. Could I now request the Additional Secretary, Ministry of New and Renewable Energy, Government of India, Shri Sudeep Jain, to present the vote of thanks.
Honorable Union Minister Shri Prahlad Joshi ji, Honorable Minister of State Shri Shripat Naik ji, Honorable Deputy Chief Minister Odisha Shri Kanakvardhan Singh Dev ji, Secretary Power, Secretary MNRE, colleagues from Government of India, from the states and from renewable industry, a very good morning to all of you. On behalf of MNRE, I'd like to express heartfelt gratitude to all the dignitaries on the dais, Honorable Minister, Honorable Deputy CM, Honorable MOS, Secretary Power and Secretary MNRE for very inspiring way in which they have set the context for this Chintan Shivir. Honorable Minister had very clearly spelled out the vision in detail as to what was the rationale for having called this Chintan Shivir and what is expected. In fact, he has clearly said that we lock the rooms and ensure that we come up with solutions before we could go out. So a very thanks, very heartfelt gratitude to all of you sirs for having shaped up this Chintan Shivir. I would also like to thank our colleagues from the various ministries, from the states and from the industry who have already given their Shapat Patras during RE Invest and showed their commitment towards achieving the shared goal of reaching 500 gigawatt by 2030. We are at a cusp of history where, while we have the biggest climate change crisis looming large, we also have the historical opportunity to solve it by transforming the energy sector, not just for India, but with our visionary leadership, we could take the step forward and be the transformation for the entire world. Over the next 2 days, so we have 17 thematic roundtable sessions, each of which have been designed with small groups of 20 to 25 delegates to facilitate meaningful discussions. While curating these sessions, we have tried to group a few large players and a few soon to be large players. We firmly believe the renewable growth story is so big that the startups today will be giants and unicorns in a few years. However, sir, we also acknowledge that to meet the ambitious targets, not just of 2030, we also need to plan for 2047. As you had rightly mentioned, there are challenges that will have to be addressed. As was rightly explained by you, we need to use this opportunity to collectively put our brains together and find innovative ways to surmount these challenges. Solutions which not only should be towards looking at how your individual companies can grow multifold, but solutions in terms of what is needed for the country and for the world, and how do we achieve it with probably the lowest cost and lowest tariffs to the consumers. So without much ado, I look forward to engaging discussions and out-of-box solutions. If any of you haven't received the details of the sessions that you have been slotted for, I would request you to get in touch with Mr. Subramaniam, CEO of NSCFI, and our partner in organizing the Shivir. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Well, that brings us to the end of the inaugural session. But as Odisha proudly hosts this impactful Chintan Shivir, we would now like to showcase the energy and industry potential of Odisha as a state, and will request our esteemed dignitaries to join in the front row so that they can give some valuable time to these presentations. Could I request our dignitaries to please be seated in the front row for the presentations on the Odisha. Can I request everyone to please be seated? Okay. We would request everyone to settle down, and as we have on stage, please welcome with a big round of applause Shri Vishal Dev, Principal Secretary Energy, Electronics and IT, Government of Odisha, and Shri Hemant Sharma, Principal Secretary Industries. Both of them are here with us, and we would like to start with the presentations. Ladies and gentlemen, with rich administrative experience across various departments, Shri Hemant Sharma, Principal Secretary Industries Department, Government of Odisha, has been giving shape to Odisha government's vision of creating a robust industrial ecosystem in the state. So it will be an honor to now request him for a presentation on the industrial ecosystem of Odisha. Over to you, sir.
Yeah. You just
Honorable senior officers from the Government of India, senior representatives from the renewable energy and power sector who have assembled here for the Chintan Shivir, a 2-day Chintan Shivir. This is not a part of the Chintan Shivir. This is like a bonus. It is like a bonus. It is like an icing on the cake. It is something which you will relish more than the Chintan Shivir, because sometimes Chintan Shivers lead to chintas. तो ये जो मेरा जो प्रेजेंटेशन है ये ना तो चिंतन के बारे में है और ना चिंता के बारे में है, बल्कि इस प्रेजेंटेशन के मेरे और मेरे जो सहयोगी हैं विशाल देव जी, हम दोनों के प्रेजेंटेशंस के बाद आपकी काफ़ी कुछ चिंताएं भी दूर हो जाएंगी। कम से कम ऐसा आपको लगेगा कि उड़ीसा एक ऐसा राज्य है जहां पर इंडस्ट्रियल डेवलपमेंट और एनर्जी रिलेटेड डेवलपमेंट्स में जो प्रोग्रेस हो रही है उस प्रोग्रेस में भागीदारी लेने के लिए बहुत सारी अपॉर्चुनिटीज़ हैं। This was not scheduled. It was, I was told very early in the morning today that I need to speak something about what kind of opportunities exist in Odisha, particularly on the renewable energy front. Now, this is something which is new for me. My colleague Vishal would be making a very broader presentation about what renewable energy opportunities are there in Odisha, what kind of policies we have, what kind of support structures we have put into place in Odisha for a rapid energy transition. What I will do very briefly, I will take a very small subset of the industrial development in Odisha, which might be relevant in some measure to the assembled audience. We understand that all of you represent some subset of the renewable energy segment. Some of you are from the distribution utilities, from transmission corporations, transmission service providers, renewable energy developers, renewable equipment manufacturers, renewable energy service providers. Some financiers like IREDA, PFC and REC are also there. So what I would do, I would just bring to your notice some work which is happening in Odisha and what possibilities exist for stakeholders represented here today to participate, and at the end of this 10 minutes presentation, is there something which interests you, we can then follow up. Does this work? Okay. Just in a nutshell, some interesting features about Odisha. So this is called EDGE, E-D-G-E. What gives Odisha an edge? So our economy, our demography, our geography, and the industrial ecosystem. Now this is not a presentation about the socio-economic or political situation in Odisha. These just 4 parameters represent what kind of economic activities are happening in Odisha and pretty well determine the next 5 to 10 years of what is going to happen in Odisha. Odisha today has economy of GSDP of about $110 billion. As a state, in its geography, it is about the size of Bangladesh, 1,55,000 square kilometers. And in terms of population, it is almost similar to Spain. Indian states are almost like that. You know, there are Indian states which are bigger than the biggest countries in the world. Odisha is, in terms of geography, it is almost the size of Bangladesh, and in terms of population, it is almost the size of Spain. Its economy is $110 billion, but the good point is that Odisha has achieved a very good rate of economic growth in the last few years. As per a document which was released by Niti Aayog just a couple of days ago, during a similar Chintan Shivir for Purvodaya states, they mentioned that in the last 5 years, Odisha's GSDP has grown at an average of 11.8%. Now our country continues to grow at more than 7%, which means that states like Odisha are big contributors to India's growth. Our country is growing at 7.5% plus. Odisha is growing at 11.8% for the last 5 years, which means that there are states which are growing less than 7.5% and there are states which are growing higher than 7.5%. We happen to be one of them. In terms of our geography, which is a very important feature, and I am sure that some of you would realize its importance. The difference in our geography is that we are a mineral-rich coastal state. There are states in India which are mineral rich, for instance, Chhattisgarh, Jharkhand, Madhya Pradesh, but they are not coastal. There are states in India which are coastal, for instance, Tamil Nadu or Maharashtra, but are not mineral rich. We are a state which are mineral rich and also coastal, which is actually a big geographical advantage to us. We have 25% of India's coal, 33% of India's iron ore, 56% of India's bauxite, 99% of India's chrome, very large reserves of mica, manganese, silica, and most importantly, rare earths. We are the second largest in India in terms of extraction, but the largest in India in terms of reserves. While we have 25% of India's coal, we account for 50% of India's coal production. While we have 33% of India's iron ore, we account for 70% of India's iron ore production. And this advantage is not limited to minerals alone. Because of the policies of the state government in the last few years, we have been able to translate it into also what is called metals advantage. So we are not only the largest producer of iron ore, we are also the largest producer of steel. We are not only the largest producer of bauxite, we are also the largest producer of alumina and also the largest producer of aluminium. This is our what is called the base industry. Mining and metallurgy is our base industry, and it contributes significantly to our revenues. We are among the few Indian states which are revenue surplus. I welcome you to go to the Reserve Bank of India website, which brings out a ways and means advance position and a state of states finance position every year. The latest report, which was presented on 24th July 2024 on the floor of the Parliament, it says that in the last 15 years, Odisha is the only state in the country which has not drawn a single day's ways and means advance. This is what is called our economic strength, financial strength, which primarily comes from our geographical advantage. This is our industrial map. I do not wish to show our political map to you. This is our industrial map. In a nutshell, all the mineral development, all the mines development, and our metallurgical based industrial areas have been developed along 3 highways. What you see on the left hand side is the National Highway 16, which connects Kolkata with Chennai. We have 4 ports along this highway, starting from Dhamra in the north, followed by Paradip, which is a major port, that is a Government of India port. Today, Paradip is the largest port in India in terms of cargo handling. Down below, we have Gopalpur port, which is just on the borders of Andhra Pradesh, and we are also developing another port at Suvarnrekha, which is up north, and a Mahanadi riverine port. We have a policy where large industries are allowed captive jetties and captive ports. Therefore, there is a captive port being developed by JSW, 2 captive ports being developed by ArcelorMittal Nippon Steel, and another port, Mahanadi riverine port, being developed by the state government. Apart from that, there is another port at Astarang, which is being developed by state government in a PPP mode. Now, what does this entail for people like you? We are a state where port-based industrialization is still possible. Now, on Western India, again, Gujarat and Maharashtra are always cited as good examples. They are good examples. But in those areas, since industrialization has really advanced far ahead from us, if you want to set up a port-based industry, you will need to go at least 50 kilometers from the port. Odisha, we have not less than 5,000 acres of industrial developed land along all these ports. This is the advantage which we have. Going to the western part of our map, if you see on the western part, we have shown a western expressway. This is our borders with Chhattisgarh, with Jharkhand, and this is where some of our other metallurgical industries are based. Connecting these 2 highways, we have a interconnecting east-west highway, which is the National Highway 55, and you would notice, if you notice carefully, that along these 3 highways, we have set up very well functional industrial estates. Where is the longest industrial shed in India? It could be in Jamnagar, it could be in Chennai, it could be in Manesar in Haryana, where you have the Maruti plant. Many people do not know that today the longest industrial shed in India is in Odisha at a place called Jharsuguda, which is where we have housed the 2.5 million tons per annum capacity smelter of Vedanta. The industrial shed runs to a length of 10.5 kilometers. If you take Jharsuguda as the center, Jharsuguda is on the Western Expressway, you could notice there is an airport there. If you take Jharsuguda as a center and draw a circle of 50 kilometers, it has India's largest density, heaviest density of investments in power and metallurgy. If you take Paradeep as an example, you will find that today, world's largest steel plant, world's second largest steel plant, world's third largest steel plant are all under establishment at this location. Even today, world's largest steel capacity in one single location is at Angul on this interconnecting highway. World's second largest existing steel capacity is at Kalinganagar, close to this interconnecting highway. This is the existing industrial base of Odisha. We have very intelligently and in a systematic manner set up these industrial areas in such a manner that our mining regions are connected with our industrial areas with road, rail, slurry pipelines, and our industrial areas are connected with our port locations, again with good, efficient road and rail connectivity. But what does this mean for you? What does this availability of industrial areas, industrial infrastructure, what does this mean for you? Now, in the renewable energy, Odisha has good scope. That scope will be further explained to you by my colleague Vishal Dev when he speaks largely about what kind of policies are in place and what kind of potential exists for further development. I am limiting myself to only renewable energy deployment in the industrial segment. In industrial segment, for instance, if you look at requirement of solar power, requirement of PSPs, requirement of wind energy, where does this demand trigger in Odisha come from? What exactly will drive the demand for renewable energy in Odisha? And this is just a very small example of what it will drive. Now, it is inevitable that most of the manufacturing sector will have to transit. There will be green transition. Green transition is happening. It is inevitable that it will happen. Just to give you a few examples, we have about 5.5 million tons per annum of aluminium smelting capacity. And now, in previous 1 year, we have received applications for another 1 million ton capacity, 0.5 million ton by Aditya Birla Group Hindalco and another 0.5 million ton by Vedanta. Interestingly, both these capacities come with captive solar requirement. 0.5 million ton of aluminium smelting by Hindalco at Sambalpur is backed up by a 1000 megawatt floating solar at Hirakud. 0.5 million ton of aluminium smelting capacity at Jharsuguda by Vedanta is backed by a 2000 megawatt floating solar at Rengali by Vedanta. And both of them are interested in setting up PSPs within Odisha. This is the demand trigger. This is the driver of renewable energy in Odisha. Look at this table which I have presented below. Steel, stainless steel, aluminum capacities are now going to be ramped up. 100 million tons of steel additional will be made in Odisha by 2030. Will this all be made only on coal? Can coal continue to be used for manufacturing of steel? I'll just give you two examples. In the year 2022, we signed a memorandum of understanding with ArcelorMittal Nippon Steel for a 24 million tons per annum steel plant, which is now under construction between Paradeep and Kendrapada, close to the Paradeep port. 12 million tons is conventional, another 12 million tons is based only on green hydrogen. So also the JSW plant close to Paradeep, another 12 million tons is green steel. Whether it will be green hydrogen based green steel or whether it will be induction arc furnace, electric arc furnace based green steel, yet to be decided. But suffice it to say here that out of this 100 million tons of steel, 5 million tons of new aluminum capacity, more than 50% of these capacities would primarily depend on green energy. Otherwise, they will not be able to find the markets in Europe, in Americas and elsewhere. This is the growth trigger and the catalysts for the deployment of renewable energy in Odisha. Coal to chemicals, crude to chemicals is another big emerging opportunity. Now sometimes we are asked that why is it that Odisha has taken such an advanced position on green hydrogen and green ammonia, and there are members, very senior people in this audience who have actually come forward to take advantage of our policies for deployment of green hydrogen and green ammonia. Why is that so? That is because if we need to take energy transition for our metallurgy, for our chemicals and petrochemicals complexes which are there in Odisha, if we need to make them secure in future from the energy transition point of view, it is inevitable that they switch over to renewable energy, switch over to green fuels, switch over to green hydrogen, switch over to green ammonia, and this is exactly what our industrial policies are driving. How they are driving it, I'll just give you a couple of examples. As I mentioned to you, our existing industrial development, our major investor in renewable energy Wari, Amit ji, kahan par hain aap? Major investor in renewable energy Wari, Amit ji, kahan par hain aap? Amit ji wahan par hain. Amit ji came to us, they met us, Wari group met us about 2 years ago, in the year 2022. उस समय तो विवेक श्रीवास्तव जी थे, CEO बैठे, अभी वो सुजलॉन में हैं. हमारी उनके साथ बातचीत हुई. हमने कहा कि हमने उनको ये अपॉर्चुनिटीज़ दिखाई. ये कहे, इनका कह रहा था कि नहीं, हम तो सब गुजरात महाराष्ट्र में ही करते हैं और पहली बार हम कहीं बाहर नहीं जाना चाहते. हमने इनको ये अपॉर्चुनिटीज़ दिखाई, 3-4 लोकेशंस दिखाए जहाँ पर हमारे इंडस्ट्रियल डेवलपमेंट चल रहा है. उन कंपनीज के साथ इनका डिस्कशन कराया जो यहाँ पर फ्लोटिंग सोलर और बाकी रिन्यूएबल एनर्जी के प्रोजेक्ट्स लगाना चाहते हैं. कन्विंस हुए. हमने इनको पोर्ट लोकेशंस दिखाई. हमने कहा कि अगर आप मुंद्रा या दहेज या नावाशेवा या कहीं भी आप अपनी इंडस्ट्री लगाना चाहते हैं तो आपको पोर्ट से कम भी 50-60 किलोमीटर दूर जाना पड़ेगा. हमने इनको ऐसी लोकेशन दी विच इज़ सो आइडियली लोकेटेड and through which they can serve both the domestic demand as well as the export demand. Today, they have taken 1,200 acres of land from us on one of those national highways and are setting up a 10 gigawatt solar module cell wafer plant, which will further be integrated backward up to polysilicon. But it does not stop at that alone. We propose to them that you take 1,200 acres from us, on our own will develop another 300 acres on your boundary, where you bring glass manufacturers, where you bring aluminum extrusion, where you bring packaging manufacturers, where you bring inverter manufacturers, you bring all your vendors who are there in Gujarat, who are working there with you since 2-3 decades. Let them also come and enjoy this advantage. This is exactly what they have done. So we have Luminous, who have already come in. We have JSW EV batteries plant, which is coming up. We have Himadri, we have Epsilon, who are also now taking up industrial plots of land close to where Wari is. Same story for Jupiter, same story for Ampin, same story for Satvik. Satvik Solar only day before yesterday signed an agreement with us for 200 acres of land at Gopalpur Special Economic Zone for setting up a 2.5 gigawatt solar module manufacturing facility. I can go on and on, but suffice it to say that Sumant Sinha ji was the first to discover Odisha for green hydrogen, and he did not stop at one. He first decided to set up a plant at Paradeep, then he decided to set up a green methanol plant at Gopalpur, taking the biogenic carbon dioxide from ITC Bhadrachalam in Andhra Pradesh and JK Paper in Raigada, bringing it to Gopalpur, setting up a green methanol plant. Looking at that, we have Semcorp, we have L&T, we have Acme, we have Avada. I am sure that our senior people from Acme are here. They must be here. Yes. And I am sure that Avada people are also here. Wellspun people are, of course, present here. Why are these people here? And apart from the demand, what other advantage did they see? They saw that in Odisha, as compared to so many other places in India, the cost of land, the cost of water, the cost of power, and the cost of accessing skilled labor is much lower. The cost of industrial land in Odisha is 1/10 of Maharashtra, 1/2 of Rajasthan, 1/20th of some places in Gujarat, and 1/50th of some places in North India. And on top of it, you have well-developed industrial lands close to port, close to national highway, with factory gate availability of water, power, and connectivity. With Wari, we have a deal. We are giving them a 400 kV inbuilt grid substation at state government cost. We are giving them a 30 cusecs of water supply at their factory gate at state government cost. And the same facility is available to Wari, to Jupiter, to Ampin, to many others who are part of that ecosystem and are their vendors in the green energy equipment. Cost of power, I would have mentioned, most of the senior dignitaries today were speaking about Maharashtra, Rajasthan and Gujarat. I also need to speak about Maharashtra. The cost of power in Maharashtra for industrial consumers is rupees 12 per unit. In Odisha, it is rupees 6 per unit. The land, on top of that, we give a discount of rupees 2. The landed cost of power in Odisha for industrial consumers in this category is rupees 4 per unit for next 10 years. This is the kind of setup which we have. Just a word about our incentives. What incentive structure do we have? For renewable energy equipment, for captive renewable energy plants, and for anything to do with green hydrogen, green ammonia, we have a capital investment subsidy of 30% without any upper limit, 100% exemption from electricity duty, rupees 2 per unit discount on electricity tariff, 100% reimbursement of SGST up to 200% of your investment in plant and machinery, and 100% reimbursement of ESI and EFF for domiciled workers for a period ranging for 7 years. All these taken together amount to a EBITDA gain of 7.2%. For green hydrogen and for captive renewable energy plants, we have a special dispensation which is mentioned here. They also qualify for a 30% capital investment subsidy and extensive allocation of natural regions. For instance, Renew, Acme, Avada, Welspun, the Adani Group, the Hindalco, Vedanta, they have already expressed their interest for setting up of pump storage hydro projects in Odisha, where the site allocation, site studies are underway. Our own government is setting up a 600 megawatt pump storage project at Indravati. Our own government is setting up a 1000 megawatt floating solar at Rengali, Hirakud and Kolab. Why? Because of all these incentives. No aluminium smelting, no modern steel making will happen now with conventional coal. It will all happen with green energy and green technologies. This, ladies and gentlemen, is the opportunity in Odisha. I just picked up a few slides out of my longest presentation and presented to you the business case of Odisha. I just mentioned to you that while the electrons will come from Rajasthan and Gujarat, the molecules, Sumanji, will have to be made in Odisha, and that is the success story. That is the business opportunity where all of you can participate. If you are renewable energy equipment manufacturers, we can offer you industrial land with a very good policy. If you are renewable energy developers in the commercial and industrial consumer base, we can offer you a very big existing and a very large future demand. We are organizing our Global Investors Summit called Utkarsh Odisha in January, on 20th to 28th January 2025. All of you are welcome. We have already collected your database. Some of you are already a part of the Odisha growth story. Those of you who are yet to become a part of the Odisha growth story and are interested, please get in touch with us. Please do click a picture of this slide. It will give you some good details. All these three gentlemen are available in this hall. Just ring them. Since you are there for the next 2 days, we are available around the clock for any discussions. Whether you want those discussions at this venue, you are welcome to come to our office in the heart of the city. We have made 4 vehicles available outside readily. Any one of you wants to fix an appointment with us, just give a missed call on these, and our people will actually take you to our office, and we can discuss these things in details. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, sir, for that very positive and informative presentation. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we also have with us today Principal Secretary, Energy, Electronics and IT, Government of Odisha, Shivir Kumar Dev, who's left a mark in all his assignments, be it sports, tourism or finance. So as Odisha looks to a sustainable energy transition, he is entrusted with the responsibility of driving that change. I would now request him for a presentation on the renewable energy potential of Odisha.
Deputy Chief Minister of Odisha, distinguished guests from the Government of India, my colleagues from the state government, various companies and investors who are here. A very warm welcome to Odisha and to our beautiful city, Bhubaneswar. For many of you who do not know, Bhubaneswar, which is known as the temple city of the country, also happens to be the second planned city after Chandigarh. And therefore you see a lot of greenery, wide roads, etc. It's a difficult task coming after Hemant because he happens to be one of our finest speakers and he's given a brilliant presentation. He's kind of covered a bit of what I was planning to cover, so I'll quickly rush through the renewable energy part. So most of it he's covered. Just suffice to say that Odisha, because of the strong polity, the stable polity and the strong congruence in the industrial development vision of the central and state government, we rank second among states in the country in attracting inward investments. I must also say that when I had come to Odisha in '97, we as a state were known, as a poor and a backward state. And today we are considered a leader in several sectors, whether it's disaster management or it's rural infrastructure or it's highest poverty reduction by any state, several social indicators like highest reduction in the infant mortality rate, highest percentage of institutional delivery. So the Odisha of today is a story of good governance, whether it is industrial development, which Hemant covered very well, or it is infrastructure development or the social indicators that we have. On the economic growth side, he mentioned that we have been growing at a rate higher than the national average rate, and this has been the situation since 2005 consistently. Our rate of growth has typically been 1.5% or 2% higher than that of the national average growth rate. If you look at the contributors to the economy, about 41% is contributed by the industry sector, about 36% by the services sector, and about 22.5% by agriculture sector. What is very important, and he touched upon that briefly, is the financial status of Odisha today. Way back in 21-22, we were the state with the highest revenue surplus of about 43,472 odd crores. And last financial year, we had a revenue surplus of 37,700 crores. Now, considering that we were in a debt trap in 99-2000, right after the super cyclone, when we lost about more than 10,000 lives, and in 99-2000, our debt stock to GSDP ratio was about 54.25. We were practically borrowing money to repay our loans. From then to now, when we have a revenue surplus of 37,700 crores, ladies and gentlemen, is no mean achievement by any state. And Mr. Sumant Sinha is here, and so are other investors. What's important is, this also indicates that the state has the capability to honor and meet its commitments when it comes to giving out capital investment subsidies, etc. We are the second state, as I mentioned, in attracting inward investments. And what is also important is, when you talk about bank assisted investments, we are the third in the country. So this is important because it reflects about the quality and the credibility of projects that are coming into our state. This is something which he's kind of covered. Skills development is one of the fundamental pillars of our industrial strategy, and we just don't believe in skills development. We are aiming to establish a brand, a global brand of skilled in Odisha, where a lot of work has already been done. We are known for our skill development initiatives throughout the country. You have the figures before you, about 1.7 lakh graduates, close to 200 engineering colleges, and about almost 1,000 technical training institutes. The World Skills Center that we established some years back in association with ITEES Singapore stands out as a model of partnership with a world-class body, creating skilled programs which are recognized globally. The numbers are not much. We are generating about 3,000 people out of WSC currently, but we will be very soon ramping up these numbers. Odisha also boasts of the presence of some of the finest institutions that the country has. I am at Sambalpur, IIT at Bhubaneswar, IIIT, NIT Rourkela, the National Institute of Science, Education and Research, NICER, ICER, and a lot of Center for Excellence in Research, which includes IMMT, CIPET, etc. I will now come to the renewable energy potential, and I think our figures need to be updated because Pankaj Agarwal sir mentioned that the solar potential of Odisha is about 137 gigawatts. The figure that we have is 48, so we'll update that. We have a potential of about 36 gigawatts from pumped storage projects, about 12 gigawatts from wind, and about 2.5 gigawatts from the bio energy. So out of this, the target till 2030 is to generate about 11 gigawatts, the bulk of which is going to come from solar. Now solar in Odisha also means floating solar, which is very, very important, because though it has been said that the solar potential is very high, we do have challenges in getting ground mounted solar projects because of availability of barren land. So floating solar is a very key component of our renewable energy strategy, because we have 8 numbers of large reservoirs and about 51 medium reservoirs, all of which are available for setting up floating solar plants, and that is what we are requesting all of you to look at. The incentives under the OREP policy, Hemant covered them very well, all the exemptions across electricity duty, cross subsidy surcharge, wheeling surcharge, STU surcharges, etc. And on the land, exemption on stamp duty, conversion and registration charges. And one of the most important components under the industrial policy resolution is the 30% capital investment subsidy which we provide. And as was mentioned, there is no upper cap on this subsidy. Officers, GRIDCO is our renewable energy nodal agency, and officers from GRIDCO are present here for discussions with you. So under the facilitation mechanism, we primarily have 3 mechanisms. One is for less than 50 megawatts, which is cleared at the department level by a committee chaired by the Secretary Industries. Between 50 megawatts to 200 megawatts proposals are cleared by a committee chaired by the Chief Secretary, and proposals for more than 200 megawatts go to the High Level Clearance Authority, which is chaired by the Honorable Chief Minister. Something very important which I want to share with you is that we have already created a banking facility of 550 megawatts for renewable energy, out of which 350 is for green hydrogen, green ammonia, and for the other RE projects it's 200. So currently it's a total of 550, but we, depending on the progress of the projects, we'll be willing to look at extending this further. Under the Odisha Renewable Energy Policy 2022, which was released actually in January 23. So in less than 2 years, we have approved about 1250 megawatt of projects worth 8,500 crores. The bulk of them are in the pump storage sectors, followed by wind and solar. We have a target of adding about 10,000 megawatts of RE power by 2030, and we are very confident that we'll be able to exceed this target. I was talking about the opportunities in the floating solar projects. So the overall target is about 48 gigawatts, which Secretary Power mentioned has gone up to 137. We'll look at that data. So by 2030, we are looking at generating 5 gigawatts of energy from floating solar projects, out of which 2.5 gigawatt is going to come from captive power producers. About 1.5 gigawatt is going to come from solar floating projects over 51 medium reservoirs, and about 1 gigawatt from the 8 major reservoirs that we have. These are all at an advanced stage we have tied up with the International Finance Corporation for developing the FSPVs over the 8 major reservoirs, and technical consultants for the medium reservoir projects are also in place. We will be coming out, we will be offering these projects to investors within about a year, when all the DPRs and feasibility reports have been completed. Coming to the pumped storage projects, we have the biggest of all the projects that we have here is the 600 megawatts project at Upper Indravati reservoir, which is being done by the Hydropower Corporation. About 26 off-river closed-loop sites are going to be offered to investors, totaling to about 21 gigawatts, and we have another 10 sites which the central public sector undertakings have been allotted. The total is about 4.4 gigawatts. So this is another area which will see a lot of action and developments in the very near future. On the wind energy side, the potential, as I mentioned earlier, is about 12 gigawatts. We are targeting to generate 2 gigawatts by 2030. Already roughly 300 megawatts of projects have been approved and are under implementation. The wind resource assessment has been taken up at 6 numbers of strategic locations, and there's a joint study with the National Institute of Wind Energy, which is currently underway. We are also looking at encouraging small hydro projects. We currently have 185 number of locations which have been identified for feasibility study. 10 out of these have already been allocated to developers, and PPAs have been signed for about 200 megawatts of power. Coming to an area which is becoming increasingly important for us, which is green hydrogen. We all know we account for about 35% of India's steel and about 60% of India's aluminium, and investments in the metals and mineral sector are increasing rapidly, and the power for all of these will have to come from green sources, because otherwise they will not have a market for what they manufacture. If it's Europe, I think they're already talking of procuring only green steel. So on the green hydrogen side, as was mentioned, Paradeep and Gopalpur are being developed as major hubs for green hydrogen and green ammonia. The transmission and evacuation infrastructure by way of 765 and 400 kV substations and ISTS lines are already under development. We already have 12 numbers of green hydrogen projects which have been approved by the state. And as I mentioned, we have created a facility for banking of 350 megawatts of green energy for green hydrogen developers. This was my presentation. I will end here. What I want to end with is that we are looking forward to a win-win relationship between the industry and government, and we are a state which is very serious about the commitments that we make, whether it is in terms of giving out subsidies and or in terms of the timelines, and more importantly, we are capable of meeting our commitments, which I had mentioned earlier. Financially sound, revenue surplus of 37,700 crores this year. So whatever commitments we make to industries, we will be able to fulfill them. Thank you so very much.
Thank you so much, sir, for that presentation. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we'll now break into we'll have a short tea break, and we would be reassembling in this hall at 12 o'clock because we will be starting with the thematic session. Track A and B would start here. But as you leave, I'll also make a request. Please take your belongings with you because we would be making this hall ready for track A and B. I would also like to inform track C will be held at High Tech Boardroom ML floor. And there's also LED display of all the information of the sessions outside the hall. That apart, I would also like to inform that the holding area for liaison officers is right behind this hall. So anyone who wants to visit could do that. But please do not forget to take your belongings as you leave the hall. And please come back by 12 o'clock so that we can start the sessions on time. Thank you so much. Looking forward to a great day ahead.